Nice, clean, rare James White Merry Widow just came into the inventory here at Crossroad Cues. Everybody's always looking for that good everyday player. Nice cue by a great and extremely sought after cue maker right here. There's the signature right there in the forearm, Mr. James White, one of 2023. You just never, ever see this type of cue from James White. At least I haven't seen them, and we go through a whole bunch of cues here at Crossroad Cues. I put one of my other shafts on this cue, even though it is a played cue. I always like to get a perspective with some of my favorite shafts, and I must tell you, I am thoroughly impressed with the hit of this cue. Now, you would think that, every Birdseye Maple cue is going to play the same. If you've got a similar type of joint, similar type of wood, that is just simply not a fact, okay? Now, by the way, this is one of my favorite pins that I use on the majority of my cues. It is a 3/8 modified, so I like to call that the big pin. You've got some maple and ebony stitch rings at the joint and at the butt cap. A few minor marks, and I mean super minor, right on the bottom of the butt cap from play. No dents or dings or anything like that. Nice straight cue. The butt's real straight. I would say that this butt, in comparison to a standard size cue, I play with a lot of Carmelis, I play with a lot of McWhorters. They're a little tiny bit bigger, or at least a standard size. This would be what I consider to be a slightly thinner handle. It's almost just perfect, if you guys know what that means. So it's not thin like a pencil or something like that, right? But just a slightly thinner handle. Beautiful Cognac embossed lizard wrap. So it's real leather, it's not real lizard, but it is lizard print. And a lot of times when people install those wraps on a cue, it'll make the cue kind of bounce a little bit. This thing spins perfect, just like on a top. But back to the playability of this cue. It is a 16-ounce butt, by the way. So I do like a little bit heavier of a butt on some cues. This one's got a nice weight to it. 16 ounces, forward balanced. The hit is extremely solid. That's why I said this thing's got all the makings of a great everyday player for somebody out there. So 16-ounce butt, James White. James White, of course, trained under the tutelage of the world-famous Mr. Paul Motti, Pittsburgh Paul. And James has a reputation that is known all over the world on his own now. James White cues are very sought after. This would be great for somebody's collection, or, like I've said a couple of times, perfect, great everyday player right here. The reason we say that, for us collectors, you don't want to bring something to a tournament that's going to attract too much attention, or if you're playing in a bar league or something like that, you wouldn't want to take anything that draws too much attention or that's too over the top expensive. But of course, we all want that great playability. We want that great hit. That's why I say this one is got all the makings of something that you'd want to play with every day, and you definitely won't want to put down. Nice straight shaft, 13 millimeter, 3.3 ounces, 3.3 ounces. The specs are right there on the post. The shaft's got a little tiny bit of bluing right there. No big deal. The condition overall on this cue for a pre-owned cue is what I would call pre-loved. No dents, no dings, very few signs of play. Not brand new, used but not abused. Rare bird right there to get a player quality cue from James White, only at crossroadcues.com. If you guys need some financing, you can check out our website. We've got cues, cases galore, and anybody that's done business with me, you can make a comment on there about how fast that we ship. We ship lightning fast over here at Crossroad Cues. Thanks for taking a peek. James White, custom cue, ready for action.